to Cobra Exhaust in Sheffield. Once again, the team have invited me over to go inside and have a little bit of a play around with some exhaust systems. Now today is quite an exciting day for me in particular because the car that we're going to be working on is my own. So I currently drive a Mk7 Golf R. The guys here do loads of different variation of catback system and downpipe for my car. So today we're going to start off by just fitting the catback system. We're going to come back at a later date and do a downpipe anyway, just so that we sort of finish the whole process off. But yeah, obviously very excited, can't wait to get in, can't wait to get some sound clips and stuff like that, so we'll get some shots of the car revving standard. Obviously we'll then repeat the process later on in the day once we've got the system on. So without further ado, get inside, go and catch up with Matt and learn a little bit more about the hopefully very leery exhaust system that's about to be fitted to my Mk7 Golf R. So in terms of spec of the system that's actually going onto the vehicle today, obviously as I said before, there's loads of different variations that you can choose from here. However, I have opted to go for a non-resonated valve system. So that means that we're basically removing the central resonator from the, well, where it would be in the stock system, and then throw in some valves in the back end as we have from standard. So the stock car, depending on what driver mode you're in, will differentiate between how loud the car is. If you're in eco, obviously it's going to be significantly more downplayed to as it is in race when the valves open, allowing the gases to essentially leave the system a lot quicker and make a lot more noise because there's less perforated tube for it to travel through. Now again, this is just one of a few options. As I'm choosing to have the valved option, it's significantly more money than it would be if I didn't have the valves. Now there is that option online, you can go on, you can purchase the system without the valves. The way that they basically get around that is they basically unplug, they literally unplug, throw a blanking plate in there, so there's no cutting to be done, no mess to be made, and it's as straightforward as that. However, the only downside is that you lose the ability to switch between nice and quiet and mundane to basically being a lot more wary. So if this is the first time that you're joining us, this is generally the part of the video where myself and Josh will jump in the car and basically go for a little drive, talk about the car, the system and how they both complement one another. Now, unfortunately, due to the current COVID crisis, obviously we can't be within 2 meters of one another, hence we're not allowed to be in the cockpit together. So, unfortunately, you've just got me on my own. This is quite relevant though, because normally we would do this part of the video at you know, straight after the system's been fitted, and we never really get a feel of what it's like to live with on a daily basis, where I actually have now had this exhaust fitted for 3 days. So the footage that you've just watched was a couple of days ago, so I've got a real understanding of how this is sort of to live with, which I think for me is the most important thing. You know, the 20 minutes that we get of messing around once the system's fit might be great, but what's it actually like to live on a daily basis? And the answer is incredible. I asked for a system and I spoke to Cobra. The first thing that I asked specifically was, I want something that maintains the valve system that's in the car already, because though I do want to be nice and boisterous, I don't want to be like that all the time. And I think for me, the difficulty was there, but when I do want to be boisterous, I want to be extremely boisterous. I want it to be really, really loud. And then on the flip side, I also want to go home and not upset everyone on the street that I live on. I don't want to drive through town centres and attract unnecessary attention all the time. So this valve operated system literally ticks every box for me, and the best way to sort of compare it to anything else would be if you already own an S3, a Golf R, an MPV platform car. The system when it's in eco and the valves are shut currently sounds very, very similar to how the stock exhaust system sounded in race, which for me wasn't very loud. It was still quite tame. I think the biggest difference was the fake Symposer noise that come through the cabin. So it is still quite tame, and then as soon as you open the valves up, ridiculous. The comparison is literally night and day, and I think the best way for me to demonstrate that is literally to demonstrate it. So without further ado, I'll grab the GoPro, I'll chuck it on the back, and yeah, let's have a little listen. As you have just seen there, again, the difference is night and day. Now, obviously it's important to notice that, important to mention that I do have software on the car, so I am running a stage 1+ file with a very, very gentle overrun, which has now been exaggerated to say the least by this system. As a general overview, do I like the system? Yes. Would I recommend it? Yes. It's absolutely insane. In terms of cost, you're looking at around about £1,500, but that does vary depending on which variation of the system you go for. Now, the best way to sort of advise you on that is the more system that you're going to purchase, the more money you're going to pay for. The more money you're going to be paying. So, therefore, if you're going to get a valve system with a central resonator in, that's going to be the most expensive option. If you want to get a non-resonating system but without valves, that's going to be the cheapest. I think it's around about £1,000, but then you do lose the ability to flick in and out of the modes and with the valves, just as I have done, which for me is the most important contributing factor to the system. So other than that, I think we'll leave the video there. I hope I've not bored you. If you are at this point in the video, thank you so much for staying with us. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you're interested in you know, getting your inquiries in with Cobra. I'm sure they'll leave links and you know, contact details and stuff like that in the descriptions and in the video posts and stuff. So other than that, we'll leave the video there. Cobra, thank you very much for sorting me this system out. It's insane, and honestly I can't compliment the work enough, whether that be the system itself or the workmanship in-house when it was being fitted. It was second to none. So thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it, and then we'll leave the video there. Hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.